Hello and welcome. As you can see, I only missed 4 games from last week, but the thing that really I think makes me mad most about this week, I didn't have a chance to win the week based on not picking New Orleans, which I would pick every single time just like that because I refuse to bet on Andy Dalton. They almost lost to Desmond Ritter, and he played pretty bad. The game that makes me mad is the Washington one because, I'll be honest, I don't know why I picked them. I didn't go back. I forget honestly what I even said about picking Washington, but literally, I think I picked Washington and totally forgot I picked them because I was all over the Giants. Now that just shows you how my pick'em year's been going. I was all over the Giants. I was betting the Giants. I was doing anything I could with the Giants, and I ended up picking Commanders. So I couldn't tell you why I did that. That's the only one I didn't feel good about. Other than that, yeah, just all right week, but everyone else did just about the same. So going into this week, basically. Let's just hop right in. I like Jacksonville over the Jets just because they had a huge, awesome comeback win against the Cowboys. And honestly, now that Tannehill's probably out for the year, like I bet you that locker room is jumping because they have a real chance to win the division now. Buffalo, Chicago, got to pick Buffalo, even though I think Chicago will probably keep it close. I'm fading, and also 2 rules I'm going to abide by for the rest of the year: fade Zach Wilson, fade Andy Dalton. So we're fading those two. I'm going to pick Tennessee here, but I'm definitely really nervous about this game now. I still think Derrick Henry should have like 200 yards or whatever rushing because he just runs all over them anytime he plays them. But it's definitely going to be a little bit harder now that Tannehill's not in. I have to pick Kansas City here. I just like them to finish out the year strong, even though I know Seattle needs that win. Minnesota, the Giants. I'm going to pick Minnesota here, but if they do anything like what they did last week against the Colts, then they're definitely going to lose because the Giants are better coached. I'm going to pick Cincinnati, New England. That's all I got to say about New England after last week. I'm going to pick Detroit here because they went out, or when I think they basically are in for sure. I'm going to pick Baltimore because they have to compete with Cincinnati in the division. And, yeah, Atlanta lost to Andy Dalton. I'm going to pick San Fran here, but this is a game Washington really, really needs, so I won't be shocked if San Francisco loses, but they have no reason to lose, I think, at this point, unless they sit people. Dallas, Philadelphia. I'm going to pick Philadelphia. I mean, solely for the fact that I don't mind Gardner Minshew. I think he's a pretty solid quarterback. He's played well in the games that he's had to play in. And after last week, I might be an auto fade the Cowboys the rest of the season just because they pissed me off that bad with that loss. So, I mean, honestly, that game's probably a bit of a toss-up, personally for me, but I think Gardner Minshew, I mean, he's obviously not Jalen Hurts, but I think he should do well enough in replacement. I think Kenny Pickett's back, so I'm going to go back to Pittsburgh here. I know that the Raiders just had a huge, amazing win, but this is probably going to be like my 1 or 2 point game. I mean, I have no idea what's going to really happen this game. Miami, Green Bay, I'm going to pick Miami here, but knowing that Green Bay needs to win out, I mean, I think both these teams personally need to win and need to win bad, so I'm probably just going to stick with Miami in that case. Denver and the Rams. Man, poop bowl. I'm going to make this a low-scoring game because I don't know what's going to happen there. Tampa Bay probably should win that game, but I could see them losing. And then the Chargers. I mean, honestly, I take that back. There should be no way that Tampa should lose to Arizona, right? Right? Oh, yeah, Trace McSorley starting. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, no, they aren't losing. And then, when it comes to the Chargers, yeah, I don't think they should lose that game at all either. So this is what I'm thinking when it comes to my picks. I like Kansas City and Buffalo the most because they're fighting for the 1 seed right now, so I think that they'll take those games a little bit more seriously. I mean, if you look at the spreads across the games too, I think my numbers reflect somewhat, except for the Philly game because obviously I'm on the other side of it. But honestly, the Philly 7, I don't know how I feel about it. That's probably the one I'm a little bit iffy on, but same with the Chargers with the 9, but I just made a change real quick. I moved Chargers to a 7, Philly to a 5, and then I just moved my 9 to Detroit. I feel a little bit better about Detroit than beating Carolina than I do about the other few. And yeah, I'm just trying to win a week here to end out the year, so I have some interesting picks maybe, but overall, yeah, just was kind of like a bad year for me overall. I finished towards the bottom of the group, didn't really win any weeks. I mean, I still had solid picking year. I'll take that. I mean, I was over 500 picking wise. I just could not put like numbers together or anything. And then, yeah, so going on for the rest of the year, obviously we only have 3 more weeks left. So going on for the rest of the NFL year, I'm basically going to turn this into a betting show. So starting today, I'm going to slowly introduce more and more and more into what I'm going to do when it comes to NFL and betting wise. So we're going to start with looking at the Thursday night. We're going to start looking at the Thursday night game. Personally, as you just saw, I'm all over the Jags, so them plus money, I'm going to take that because, like I said, they have a chance to win the division right here. I mean, but Ryan Tannehill being out, they're only one game back. The Titans and the Jags meet in Week 18. I mean, if this team can put together some games, I mean, they have a real good chance of doing something. So when it comes to like the touchdown scores this game, because it's Zach Wilson, I'm probably gonna stay away from the Jets. Maybe pick Donovan Knight to score if anybody, and then for sure for the Jaguars, NBA Jam rules. I just saw there's a Pat McAfee boost for the under, and then Travis Etienne. I'll probably sprinkle a little bit on that. But the main bet I like is Zay Jones to score NBA Jam's rules. I think he scored the last 3 games. He scored twice. I think the last 2 games as well. So I'm going to stick with him. And then other than that, I really don't have any like other props that I like too much in this game. These are 2 teams that can play really unpredictable sometimes. So then going to the Giants-Vikings. Saquon scored last week for the Giants. Yeah, last week the defense scored and Saquon scored. So really, when it comes to the Giants, I mean, I probably just going to pick Saquon again if I have to. I mean, they're probably going to ride him to go throughout. Bellinger, the rookie tight end, he's a really good blocking tight end. They really like him, so maybe him in the end zone might be good. And then my third option for someone to score would probably be Richie James, just because he's been catching a lot of passes recently, and it looks like Daniel Jones is starting to trust him a little bit more. But I'm probably just going to pick Saquon if anyone from the Giants, and then stay away from that. Maybe take the Daniel Jones rushing over if at like 25-ish maybe. I don't know. Other than that, for the Vikings, somebody to score, probably going to pick Dalvin Cook or Justin Jefferson. Those are probably the 2 safe. I mean, KJ Osborne scored last week. TJ Hawkinson did not. And I mean, I feel like the only 2 consistent people on that team that really scored, Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. So other than like those 3 star players, I mean, it's pretty much as a dartboard, my feeling. Saints Browns, I'm just staying away. I don't like anything in that game. I don't want anything to do with that game. I'm tired of getting burned with Nick Chubb touchdowns because the Browns can't get into the end zone. Another thing to mention, too, the weather's going to be awful in a few of these games and, like, really cold. So, yeah, like the New Orleans, I'm just a complete stay away from me. Detroit, Carolina, I want to maybe take Jamal Williams. It looks like they're kind of going away from a little bit in the red zone. But I feel like the way, especially with how tough the Panthers D is, there's a good chance that he might score. I mean, the Lions only scored like nothing last week, I think. Scored basically, I think, like 1 time off like a 4th and 2 tight end. It's basically like a tight end drag, trick play thing. So, basically, I would probably say Jamal Williams or DeAndre Swift for the Lions. Maybe Amon-Ra, but then past that, I don't really know. I mean, this is another one of those games where it's like, I'm not too sure how I feel about it when it comes to people scoring. Maybe Dante Foreman for the Panthers. Maybe DJ Moore because he got him. But DJ Moore got him last week, so I'd be skeptical. This is probably going to end up being a stay away for me. Either that or I might take like one of the Lions running backs just in the hope that they get in the red zone and run it and one of them get in. But, I mean, they're starting to get to the point where Swift's getting more carries and Jackson, I think his name's Jackson, is the third stringer. He's starting to get a few more carries occasionally than Jamal Williams, so that potentially might be another stay away for me. Bengals, Patriots, probably going to take... I'll probably take Joe Mixon, honestly. I feel like he hasn't scored in a little bit, and he's been doing a little bit better. I know he's been banged up, and he's starting to come back a little bit. I feel like he probably a good option. I mean, Jamar Chase has scored, I think, back-to-back weeks now, so he's on potential NBA Jam rules, so I feel like just in honor of the NBA Jam rules, see if he'll do it 3 times, you got to pick Jamar Chase. And then for the Patriots, I'm not touching anyone. I despise that team. Buffalo Bills and Bears. Bears, I'd probably take Justin Fields. Justin Fields, I mean, David Montgomery had 2 last week that were right in the goal line, so it makes me feel like he might not get. Khalil Herbert's coming back, I think, potentially this week as well. So I'm going to pick probably Cole Kmet, Justin Fields, and then other than that, no one on that team for the Bills. James Cook scored last week. Singletary's starting to look like he's not getting as many carries. And it's starting to look like the Bills are starting to look like a little bit of a Chiefs where one person has their weeks and everything. So I think Stephon Diggs, he hasn't scored in a while, and he really looked like he wanted the ball that last game, and he just wasn't able to find the end zone. So I'm going to probably pick Justin Fields and Stephon Diggs that game. Titans, Texans, I just want to see if the props are even up. So this is what, they don't have the player props obviously up, but it's only 330. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but I'm probably going to take the Titans to score. Excuse me. I'm probably going to take Titans win, Derrick Henry over 125, and then 2 touchdowns. That'll probably be a little fun parlay I make. But solo bet wise, I mean, I'm not touching anybody on the Texans because, yes, they have been scoring the last few weeks, but I can't touch that team. So, and then for the Titans, yeah, I mean, I'm only touching Derrick Henry because he's a Texans killer. So yeah, I'll probably do like 125, 2 touchdowns for Derrick Henry because I'll read you out his stat lines against the Texans. He just absolutely owns the Texans. So yeah, here's Derrick Henry against the Texans. He's played them. He's played them 11 times since 2016. So I'm gonna skip. I probably should skip. So basically, since 2016. So keep in mind, he wasn't starting like that much in 2016. So like he had 9 rushing yards, 65, and then 7, 109, 56, 38. But that's like whatever. He wasn't really fully starting ever since since 2018, since he fully got the start. His rush yards have gone 86, 211, 212, 250, and 219. And for those, and he's 200 yards, so 211 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 212 rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns, 250, 2 rushing touchdowns, 219, 2 rushing touchdowns. So I don't know what else I got to tell you. I mean, until it's broken, hammer Derrick Henry's highest rushing over you can get, hammer 2 touchdowns, and I mean, I want to see the odds. If you're even feeling dangerous, I mean, 1,400 for 3 touchdowns. I might sprinkle that, honestly. I mean, yeah, the last game he had 250 and 2 against them just this year, so. I mean, Derrick Henry all the way. Past that, Seahawks, Chiefs, Kenneth Walker's still hurt. Ty Lockett's out, so I'd probably say DK Metcalf for the Seahawks. And then, probably for the Chiefs, Kelsey hasn't scored in 3 weeks. I would pick McKinnon and Kelsey would probably be my main 2. McKinnon scored 2 touchdowns, I believe, 2 of the last 3 weeks, and he scored a touchdown, I think, the last 3 games. So by NBA Jam rules, he's on fire. You got to stick with him. So I'm picking McKinnon and Kelsey that game. As much as I hate Kelsey, I'm not putting him in the parlay this week, though. That's for damn sure. He's burnt me enough now. It's just he's going to score here soon again, but I just don't know when because they're going to be sitting here soon. Because, it just depends on like the 1 seed, basically. They're fighting for the 1 seed still, so I'm not 100% sure. Ravens, Falcons, I'm staying away. Too many backups, too much for me. If I'm going to pick anyone maybe pick like one of the running backs for the Falcons because they've been running the ball a lot more recently. 49ers, Commanders, I'm probably going to pick Kittle. And I want to pick Kittle McCaffrey, I want to say, just because the way Brock Purdy's been playing lately, he's been loving George Kittle. The way they've been playing recently, he's been loving him some George Kittle, so I'd probably pick those 2. And for the Commanders, probably Scary Terry because he hasn't scored in a while, but I don't feel too confident in any of that. Eagles, Cowboys, I'm probably going to pick A.J. Brown, Miles Sanders for the Eagles, and then for Cowboys, probably Zeke. NBA Jam rules, again, follow for the Cowboys. Zeke has scored every game he's been in since week 6, so by that rule, you have to keep going with him. So that's probably my play. Vegas, Raiders, Steelers, another stay away. I couldn't even tell you. Packers, Dolphins, I'll probably pick one of the running backs for the Packers, depending on what's wrong with A.J. Dillon. Christian Watson should have gotten end zone, and he didn't because he missed a hand signal and something else, so he's going to be a sneaky watch. Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, maybe, probably Jalen Waddle. I mean, those are probably my 2 I'm going to end up picking. Rams, Broncos, complete stay away. Buccaneers, Cardinals, pick the tight end. So I'd probably pick Cade Otton because tight ends go off against Arizona, so they have no player props out, but I'm take K Daughton's probably receiving over potentially, and then to get a touchdown because Arizona sucks against the tight ends, and then for the Chargers Colts, I'm just probably gonna I Chargers Colts. I'll probably pick Keenan Allen to score, either Keenan Allen or Austin Eckler, because Austin Eckler has been doing decently well on the ground. But the Colts defense is tough, and then for the Colts, I'm not picking anyone anymore. I'm done with them. So yep, I basically goes over Pickem in this. Like I said, once Pickem's over, especially when it comes to playoff times, I'm going to get deeper into the games, like looking at more specific like player prop stuff and this and that. Because even as you can see too now, they show stuff like this too on FanDuel now. So I'm going to get into the deep dives here soon once Pickem's over. But yeah, that's basically what I like to score this week. That's what I liked for the game. So hopefully, I had a pretty good Pickem week last week. Like I said, I only missed four games. So I think I went 12-4. And had a pretty good, decent betting weekend. So it just hopefully continues. And then, yeah, basically how I did so good in betting last week. This is the last thing I'll end on for some small insight. I basically just, at the half, because the Vikings, I was kicking myself for not, because I could have won like $200-300 easily on just simply putting on like a funny $5 for them to come back and win. So after not doing that or even betting the spread like I wanted to, because the Colts were my favorite team and I did it blindly, I said screw it. I'm taking teams that are down to either cover the spread or money line if I like them in the second half, and they did decently well. So my suggestion to, especially when it comes to NFL and a lot of these games, is watch the teams at half. If you see the score at half and there's a spread you like, I mean, I would recommend especially if it's like double digits almost, and you think like it should be a close game. Like for example, the Bengals were losing 17-0 to the Bucs, and obviously, I couldn't predict that, 4 fumbles and, like, interceptions, 4 turnovers, all that's going to happen, but I just felt like the Bengals should not be losing 17-0, take them money line, took them spread, and sure enough, yeah, it worked. But yeah, like I said, I'll get into more of that type of stuff as the season's finishing, especially with me being basically out of the Pick'em race, but hopefully I can win a Pick'em week or two to end the year and make it not completely worthless.